Hey everybody, welcome to Anti-Ruggers United. We have an AMA today with I don't know how to say it, AusMining token.
Yeah, AusMining, sweet.
AusMining.
Yeah.
All right, AusMining. And let's get started by having you guys introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about background about yourself, your experience in the real world in crypto, and how you guys got together as a team. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you very much for having us. Much appreciated. Um, I'm the CEO from AusMining Token. My name's Andrew. Yeah, and it's just been an interesting last couple of years, and I just wanted to do something different. I've been mining for a few years beforehand, so there's a lot of things. Just wanted to change up. This is my first project, launching with a token and things like that. At the beginning it was done on deck sales. You just bought just a token off there and try to do a pre-sale. I was sort of all by myself. Done the launch and things like that. And it's just over time the experiences and the things that we've all been going through, and even in life as well. So it's just been building up as the team that's been built, sort of like a relationship between things. And yeah, just from all the ups and downs, the falling short on things, and just so many different things within the project. It's just constant building every day. So it's just, that's how the team's sort of been formed. People coming into the group, and just it's really, it's a little bit different to explain than just trying to just find people want to add or something like that.
All right, so are you the only one here from the team?
No, there's a few members here from the team. If we want to say hello as well, like there's a good 15 members behind the scenes that are just there's doing so much. It's incredible to think that what everyone's doing. So and then just mixing it in with the token. We've just done the version 2. I'll just get in with the concept of it all, of why I wanted to mix in the token with the buyback and burn system with the miners. So doing mining, and if you get it right, is a good passive income. You're not relying on trading or nothing like that. There's nothing wrong with trading. I'm not saying that. It's just with the mining, it's an everyday thing. There's a constant income coming in. So linking that with the token, saying this is my first project, but you always see the other projects wants to do all these burns, and it creates price increase and things like that. So then I just thought, why not add it to the miners, and then just split it up, 50% of the income, 51% of the income for the miners, and then you can rebuy the token and then burn it. And adding in the concept at the beginning was for reflections. So every time we're doing the buyback and burns with the machines, we're not having to rely on new members coming in. If that was the case, if we had 100 members and the machines are running, the machines are going to grow it itself. It's not a case of trying to then get another 1,000 people to then jack the price onto those guys. So, when you want to sell off your reflections each month, as it builds up, the machines itself will then, buy the dip, or, buy all your reflections and then be burning it. So it's going to be a constant price increase, as long as we keep going. So yeah, it's something pretty wild, I suppose. But, as we grow and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, the price increase, it's just it's gonna be crazy to think of. So yeah.
All right, so how'd you guys get all together? Because I see you have a big team, and you have actual registration, right, with your company.
The company's registered in Australia with ASIC. That's the exchange commissions here. It's similar to overseas with all the other exchange commission stuff. So yeah, it's man, everyone's from all parts of the world on the team. That's what I was saying. It's just mental to think, like, everyone's brilliant minds that have just come together within our group, and just helping out and being a part of something different. And, like it's crazy to think, it's, I mean, you couldn't put, I say this to a lot of people, you couldn't put an ad in a online or something like that for the things that we've built here, and the people that have like joined in on the team. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, awesome, man. That's really great to hear. So, all right, so you guys are a token that is also doing mining. So, how about this? Let's go on to the actual token itself and the company. So, you want to give us like a sales pitch, like give us an introduction about like what you guys are all about.
Yeah, no, it's the main thing is mining. That's going to be the income producer. That's every day the miners will be making money itself. It's not having to market massively, to get all these new members. It's not that's not a concept I wanted to sort of get. Yeah, it's great to have thousands of members, and yeah, it'd be really good. Building that up as well. Like it's not a it's not a scary factor to me because you've got machines that are just going to buy the token. Yeah.
Okay, can you go a little bit more into detail about the mining and all your other utilities you're offering?
Yeah, no, sweet man. With the mining, it's setting up to work towards it's. At the beginning, my intentions were to go complete 100% of renewable energy at the beginning. It's a little bit of a difficult thing to do straight off the bat from where we're at. So, we're getting the renewable and it's not at 100%, but it's something we're working towards up to. But having that renewable factor into it, having that lower energy rates is, every 1 cent of the machines that we have now, 1 cent is like $1,000 a week that we'd save just off 1 cent. So it's a big difference for when we're adding the money back into the token. Sorry, man. It's just yeah, it's been a good morning so far. So.
All right, cool. Okay, so I see that you guys have a claiming your deflationary token. 99% of supply have been burned. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, no, that's just with all the different concepts that you see of tokens burning and things like that, which is given the price increase.
By the way, hold on a second.
That's
Who is that? Who is that in the background? Is it you or is there someone else? Can you guys please mute yourselves? Or you'll get banned immediately forever. Forever. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, continue.
Yeah, no, well, that's the deflationary, the system of it, using the machines to, rebuy the token off the market. It's not just burning the token. We're rebuying the token with the machine's money and then burning it. That's just going to give the constant increase of the price, throughout the days, throughout the weeks, and then having the reflections built into it as well. So, there's a few different systems like that. It's just keep growing the token, money comes back in. More energy we can save, it's going to be more profit. More profit goes back into the token, and then it just reburns. It's just constantly buying, reburning. We have the taxes, a couple of different taxes in place. We have an NFT tax. We have an NFT range. We can get into that to a little bit after. We have the 2% reflections, and that's the reflections is a good thing coming back into the machines. It's the machines that'll buy it. You have a passive income each month. You can sell off your reflections. I encourage that. So as we build up, the machines are going to buy reflections. That's going to create a passive income each month.
So what token are you mining?
No, we'll be mining Bitcoin itself. That's with the machines, with the hardware.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Hey, can you ask my question?
No, not yet. Actually, go ahead. But next time, wait till the end, or you get banned forever.
Love the band forever.
It's a new thing we're doing.
Uh,
Yes, can you ask your question, please?
New giveaway.
Everyone's gonna be scared to speak up from now on. I guess.
100,
Okay. I guess you did
100 bucks
ask me the
one
question.
band too.
All right. So you guys are mining Bitcoin. Can you tell us the numbers about how many miners you currently have? What's like the cost of electricity? What's the what profit you're generating right now, like per month or per day or whatever numbers you have? And like, how is it going back into the token?
yeah, yeah. No, it's sweet. At the beginning, we set up the concept at the farm on the couple of acres that we had. That's as mentioned, we fell short on a couple of things there, and then we went out and to rectify things. We've got 230 S19 Pros. Um, that's not they're not these ones aren't turned on yet. There's a facility that we've been working on at the moment. It's just been a bit of a pain in the bum. There's a couple of little slight delays and things like that. It's just locking in these prices with the energy because there's such a large amount. You know, we're going to be nearly consuming 1 megawatt of power each day. So it's a really big setup. Yeah, the hash with the machines in like combined in total would be roughly 21,000, 22,000 terahash. And then using 50% of the mined income, it's the prices is hard. Bitcoin's come down. A month ago it was nearly double the price of our mining rate that we would have had. So once these machines get flicked on here, it'll be a few $1,000s a day, a couple of $1,000s a day that it produces. Just the electricity itself, at a 10 cent rate, it's like $55,000 a month just for electricity. Yeah, so it's a pretty big thing. But then using that income, that's, we mine that each day, every single day, and then we just using 51% of that, to rebuy the token off the market and then burn it for good. As we do grow, there's numbers can always change and things like that. There's from here there's the income that we'll have from this one to then keep snowballing and buy more miners. That's all we want to constantly do. Just more miners, more solar. Just it's constantly more hash is more cash. So more cash we can produce. We can do bigger buyback and burns. And do more things within the community and helping out other people. Once we get into that bigger stage. Yeah.
All right. So how much has been spent on these miners so far? What was the capital that? How much did it cost you?
These ones.
Yeah, the ones you have.
This drop. It was around about $500,000.
And how is it funded?
From my end.
So you use your personal funds?
Yeah, at the beginning I used personal funds as well and NFT money. Yeah, there was a bit of NFT money in there involved. Yeah.
Well, from which NFTs? Was it like a previous project or from this project?
Now from this project, at the very beginning, I dropped money in. We put a bit of money out from the NFTs, and then yeah, that was the stuff at the farm at the beginning that we built. Yeah, which was just a very big learning curve on multiple different things from the project to renewables. As I mentioned, there's a few things that fell short at the farm, but it's not something that we're going to stop and get upset about. We just went out and got another 230 machines organized and just getting the factory sorted. So like, it's never going to stop. It's not something we fall short of something and we stop there and give up. It doesn't work like that. Yeah.
Okay, so when you said NFT money, you mean like your own personal stuff, right? Like not like anything to do with the NFTs from this project. It's not like you haven't sold any NFTs, right?
Yeah. We've sold NFTs and they come with a reward as well. Yeah.
Okay,
They
so,
have a
so
bit
you
of
guys
volatility.
already
So
have
at the,
for the AusMining, you guys already have NFTs that you sold.
yes, that's correct.
Okay, can you talk about that? Like, how many were sold? What was the price? How much you raised? And what are the benefits of the NFTs? And if there's any more left to
Yeah.
mint, or is it's all sold and now you could only buy it on OpenSeas? Or just give us a little bit of details about
Yeah.
what's up with the NFTs because that's interesting for some of us here too.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's another interesting thing that just another learning curve myself within the crypto world. At the beginning, just getting a little bit excited with the farm. There was different numbers that was put out. I made a few different calculation mistakes, we would say. So we put up there was 505 were sold, and they were for $100 each. Uh, and then so it was raised around about 55,000. There was higher rewards that I offered, which I will get to it. It's just not at this stage. So we just had to recalculate things better for the project to move forward for expansions and things. So they have a tax within our tax system for the token. So they have the 2% that's allocated to the NFT. There's only 505 available, and I will be buying them back and burning them as well. So it's going to be decreasing the supply of that NFT as well. Yeah, so they get a 2% tax within our token system. And then at the moment, it's be $1 a day when these machines get turned on behind us. And then that's just their passive income. Where we have a bot that they get paid in BTCB. So even with the 2% tax that gets distributed amongst NFT holders, yeah, everything gets paid back to the NFT holder in BTCB. Yeah, we can do our conversions from the mining income, switch it over, and then yeah, within the bot, the wizard has a bot, Mr. Neb. So yeah, all the BTC will go in there. The bot runs through the NFT list, and whoever's holding the NFT at the time, at the end of the month, will get those rewards. Yeah, there's no more for sale at the moment. There's no more for sale at all. These gold NFTs. Yeah, they're only on the secondary market on OpenSea. Yeah, so there is members selling them on the secondary market for sure.
Can you post a link or tell us what the floor price is of the NFTs currently? And is there like rarities, or they're all basically give the same benefits?
There's possibly a new range of NFTs coming up, different rarities have at the moment. For these gold NFTs, yes, they all have the same benefits. The floor price is 0.35 Ethereum at the moment. Yeah, so it's something that I want to buy them back as well as we get more money. If there's NFTs on the market, we've got the funds at the time. I'm going to be buying them back and getting rid of them. So people who hold them is it's going to be less in supply, and they're going to get more of the share from
Okay,
the
can you
NFT
repeat again?
tax.
What was the price? You said what was the price on OpenSea?
0.35 ETH.
Oh, okay. So people that bought the NFTs, they're actually in pretty good profits.
Yeah, we could. There was some probably a couple of months ago. There was a little bit of action up and down, but yeah, some people I would say could be in profit.
Oh, good. Yeah, because you said $100, right? Now they're about 600 or so. So that's good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's a good that you guys have a pretty healthy floor price, because that means your investors believe in the project and believe in the value of the NFTs. That's what we like to see. That's very bullish actually. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
no, it's something.
see,
Yeah.
one thing I like about your project is, at least the way I understand it, you literally put $500,000 plus or minus of your own funds, right? you did not have, or was it also funded partially from V1, like the miners and all, all of that?
No, we didn't take any money from that. Was the whole concept of using the miners, so we didn't have to ever sell the token on the people to upgrade or anything like that. Like we're getting through the taxes now, which is going to just heap boost it. But it's, I don't have to go on, and I've just got my own little personal stack now, and that's it. In the future, if I ever want to touch it, it's never on the cards to do that. So we've got the machines to make the cash. It's just
So you're basically donating $500,000 worth of equipment to generate profits for this project. In a way, I mean, obviously you're going to make money off of it anyways because it's your project, tokens,
well,
whatever.
For myself,
But
it's a bigger picture. It's not just about the mining now. I have bigger things I want to do, and people always say there's a pay to play, and this was my door fee to get into what other bigger things that I want to do. Well, so be it. I'll do it again. That's the money that's been spent. People can talk about money all day. The things that's been built within our community, you can't put a price on that. Like I would do it over and over again for the people that I've met, for the team that's been built. Like the money doesn't come in. It's not about the money. It's about, I've told people before, mining many years ago, you sit in a factory all by yourself like a bored dog. Like it's boring as. So this is, just to generate a bit of fun, and it's getting pretty serious with the machines. But overall, it's the money. I couldn't give a shit. I want to be doing things with people and doing stuff. So yeah.
okay, that's really awesome then, because like if it was another company or project, let's say they wanted to do a similar thing, but they would actually start off with zero when they would have to use investor funds to get the miners, then that's most likely going to be a losing proposition for the investors, right? Because to fund the miners, they're going to have to sell tokens, and the chart is going to go to shit. But if you already have the miners, it's like your token itself already has the value, the 500K that you put in. That's already assets in the company. So when you look at the chart right now, you have 77K in liquidity, right? And normally the liquidity is kind of like the value of the project, because that's actually how much money you have in there. Because you have a market cap of 10 billion, but if there's only like 100K in liquidity, no one's going to be able to get 10 billion out of it, right? The most they could get is 100K.
Yeah.
So the actual value of a company would be like the liquidity. But if you also have, 500K of miners that are actually being put to good use for this project, then that means that, the value is actually a lot higher, right? And this is I would say, a very undervalued project. But that's also assuming, depending on the profits that these miners are generating, of course. And we'll get to that. So current, yeah. Who was that? I thought someone said something. All right, so to break it down, you spent 500K, and you said none all of the miners are operational yet, right? How many, like say percentage wise, how many of them are operational, and can you give us numbers about like profitability, I guess? Because I feel like Australia is not the best place to have a mining farm. Correct me if I'm wrong. Electricity is very expensive, no?
Yeah, but it's the bigger picture. Electricity is massively expensive, but there's things that we're working on. That's the whole renewable concept. We have things later on in the year that it's actually going to be doing beneficial for the renewable sector. At the moment, there's a big problem of these solar farms that are overproducing energy that's just going back into the atmosphere, and it's disrupting the grid. So having the miners is a constant load 24/7. As the solar intake peaks too much into the renewable system, we have these machines tapped into the back of the main meters. That brings down the electricity into a single digit rate. Like it's just insane. That's the bigger picture stuff. So that's a build up to later on. I do hear what you're saying. Electricity is through the roof, but if it's a couple of months too dear for us, it's something that it's not a limitation. It's something to build on to get down to zero. So the electricity is zero for us. So we own everything.
Okay, so you're planning to build these solar farms, but currently it's not there yet, right?
No. there's a different strategy now, having new connections that we've formed with a joint venture that we're doing. Like they have bigger access and connections to these big solar farms that are already in place that are struggling and disrupting the network. So we'd be going in and straight behind the meter. So there's no network fees. There's no all this extra costs. You know, and then we'll be doing a part to keep the network stable. So it's not being overproduced.
Okay. All right. So right now, are you running any miners right now, or are you waiting for all of the solar farms to be built first?
No. So the first concept at the farm, we had machines going there, but there's so much other work that's going on. There's only a few machines turned on there. So there's no machines turned on right now. We're meant to be in our facility doing stuff already. There's it's just coming back from. There's so many other working parts now. You know, going through these people have to go. This people gets things signed off. It's like it's not just rocking up to a house and you have a single distribution board. Like we're about to fix up 1 megawatt of power. It's a bigger setup. So yeah, it's not like at the end of the year. We're meant to be in there last week into this factory. So it's just these minor little delays that are just really annoying to get rolling. Yeah, but we'll be there within the next week.
So all these power sources, like the solar, the wind, the hydropower, are you guys going to be leasing them, or is it going to be you're going to be the owner? Are you guys building them yourselves, or is it just going to be something that you will lease?
No, we will have our own systems along the way as well. So the property the 2 acres that we have, you know, we're going to a new facility, but we're looking at the options of just filling that full of solar and then just feeding back into the grid to add more of a renewable factor for us. So there's just a couple of different options. There's just so much that's happened in the last month and a half with, you know, getting new systems, bigger machines, more machines. Like it's been a crazy. Things are changing every couple of days. There's something bigger and new, and it's just something more amazing happening. So yeah.
And so how is this going to be funded? Because this is like, this seems like a lot of infrastructure, and I'm assuming it's fairly expensive.
That's with now having these bigger the bigger rack of miners, the income every day is huge. So yeah, the expansions and upgrades are just funded by the miners. We don't have to sell the token or nothing like that. The miners do it. Plus, we also do have a growth tax within the token, so then that helps boost up things if we need to.
So currently, right now, the miners that are running, they are paying for the solar farm that's being built.
This upgrade now that we have to turn these machines on, these machines get turned on, then the income of these ones then continue the upgrade of the solar farm.
Okay, but if electricity is that expensive, are you guys still turning a profit even now?
Oh yeah. So our electricity will be around about 11, 12 cents.
Currently,
that's Australian. So yeah, be about like 9 cents US.
That's currently without the solar power or without any of that. Just currently what you're paying with the grid, right?
That's correct. With within that market, yes, it's in an industrial sector for that rate.
All right. Okay, someone said currently not running. So what do you mean by that? I thought like you guys have some miners already operational.
Yeah, we did. That was a smaller setup, but going to now, having to manage this new facility and these new machines, like it's a total. The time there was only a few machines on at the farm that we had in Sydney before this new facility getting racked up. So the time that has to be spent to build this and leaving machines run them by themselves unassisted is not are beneficial and things, blow up, I have to be a couple of days away from the farm, meetings and doing these things, setting up in this new big facility. It's not practical to do that. So it's just the decision to have those off for now, focusing on this bigger setup over the next couple of weeks to get these ones turned on, and then the income is 10 times the amount that was at the farm.
Okay, so you already have calculations for all this for the income, the cost, electricity cost, and you're also are you also calculating the cost for air conditioning?
Yeah, we that's the thing now. At the beginning, there was a lot of calculations that wasn't happening, and Mr. Noodle, we have amazing people. Noodle right here is a wizard in engineering. This is his specialty, to make sure all the cooling's done. Everything is being accounted like left, right, and center. There's been so many things built, calculators. It's incredible. It's something I haven't even imagined to get built. So everything's counted for now. Everything's been taken care of carefully, triple checked, bloody gone over everything. There's electricians on board. There's so many working parts of everything happening. Yeah, so
Okay, all right, cool,
definitely
awesome.
everything's been counted in factors.
All right, so next thing I want to talk about is like let's say the history of your token. So with V1, how you guys got the pre-sale? Is that a private sale? Just kind of how it started with that one, and then what happened, why you guys went to V2, and how V2 went along. Did you have a pre-sale, a private sale, or any of the launch pads? And do you also have like a chart of token allocations anywhere? Because I couldn't find it in the white paper. Like basically like
No,
distribution of tokens, like 5% of the team, things like that,
Yeah. So we started off on the deck sales, and just to launch the token itself. The soft cap didn't get reached. Members who did contribute during the pre-sale, I gave is like another opening. There was a max 2 BNB, and then you got 10 million AusMining tokens for 1 BNB at that rate. So yeah, I think that was about 6 BNB that came in from the private sale or after deck sales, because deck sales didn't work. And then myself added 40 BNB and then created the liquidity myself. And then we burnt the LP tokens. So it wasn't just a matter of locking them. We just burnt the, so it couldn't be. It's like my first project. So I was saying, there's so many people like, you got to do this. You have to do this for the token to show it's safe and things like that. So the version 1, burnt the LP tokens, renounced the contract. There was so many things wrong with the contract. You can't change it. There was the swap and liquefy stuff. There was, the reflections were going to the burn wallet because it wasn't blacklisted. And so members weren't getting their full reflections. And I couldn't do anything about it because I renounced the contract. So then that's when we made the decision to go to version 2. And then it was just there was no extra pre-sale or nothing like that. It was just had to send back your tokens because we couldn't take out the liquidity. So members had to send back the tokens, and then we done the dump to get back the dollars and then to put it back into the new contract. So we're still at the moment just waiting for a few members to send some tokens over, and we had locked tokens within version 1, so we can't get those at the moment to get the rest of the liquidity out to put back into our token for version 2. Yeah, so that was a bit of errors with the version 1 contract, and then moving to the version 2, members will then now get the full 2% reflections. The contract, it's not renounced, so things can be, fixed or altered within the taxes as well. you know, we might not need so much for growth tax in the future, so we can minimize that tax and, you know, bring it down to 2%, you know, as we're making more money with the machines, sort of thing.
Okay, so I see your V1 chart. It did really well. What was the market cap at the all-time high? Do you remember?
I think it's maybe 4.1 million. When we
4.1
started
million?
off, I think it was around, yeah, I think we started off at around 50K market cap.
Okay, because I was doing the measurements on here, and it looks like roughly about 100x or so, or no?
Rough, I think so, around about.
Yeah, so 50K, 500K, 5 million. Yeah, that's about 100x.
Yeah, just under.
So what happened? You know, then after the all-time high, you know, it did a dip, then it had another pump, and then after that went down. Can you explain a little bit what happened there? Because I'm assuming after everyone found out that you have to do a V2, that's kind of when it started going downhill from there.
Yeah, there was probably like I mentioned with the first farm, just falling short on a few things. So, and you know, you can imagine some people might not be happy, which you know, that's I apologize for those things. It's so you know, some members would have sold out for that. No hard feelings. I get that. And then yeah, then we announced the version 2 contract. So then that, you know, probably would have made a little bit different. So yeah, it's not something that it's never really fussed with the chart with myself. The members being there is good, but with the chart itself is not never been a thing with me, because I just once I turn the miners on, I'm just gonna buy that shit up.
All right, cool, awesome. And but so currently, right now, just to reiterate, you don't have the miners running, right? You're building the farm.
There's a
Uh,
there's a new facility that we're working on right now. It's not on a property. It's like it's in an industrial area. But yeah, it's a little bit extra work from turning on a few machines, you know, to now got to turn on 1 megawatt. So it's just a little bit of extra work, which is all good. It's going to be beautiful. So.
and what is the cost for this new facility?
So the electrician is around 100K, just over 100K. You know, there's electrical cables, even just the cables for these machines is like 4 or 5 grand just for the PC cables. Like there's a costing. There's electricity costs that we have to pay up front. You know, that's like 55 grand. You know, these are all the things just that has to be done right now before we get this chance. But it's not an issue. It's all happen.
By the way, like you keep on getting
Then we're away.
like lag or something like that. Sometimes it's hard to hear you because the sound kind of gets distorted as like a lag. Is anyone else getting that?
No,
Yeah, I thought, yeah, I was, logging my internet.
is that a bit better?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only happening once in a while when you were like, you know, talking maybe like every couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I'm well known for is my shit internet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. So all this is gonna be funded by you yourself too, or do you have the profits from the miners?
So with that, we're going to be using when these machines get turned on. There's expenses to be paid. There's deals that's been made that, you know, when the switch gets flicked on, we can use the machines to pay for it. You know, like the electrician work, to do in advance. You know, there's already been lots of money spent. You know, at the moment, I don't have another 300,000 to go drop into things straight off the bat. And as I see it, we wouldn't really have to anyway. We've got machines to pay for that stuff now. We've got the snowball rolling. So, you know, there's some fees and stuff that we're going to have to expenses pay, you know, when we do flick the switch on. Yeah, and then that's just to help out there, but it's not to sell the token. We can use the machines to pay for any expenses that we have and still keeping the token going, opposed to selling the tokens to pay for these things.
Okay. So I'm still trying to understand like the benefits of this, like the profits with the business. So isn't it because due to high electricity costs, for example, isn't it
Mhm.
more profitable just to sell directly to the grid? Let's say you do have the miners or first of all, if you're getting it for free because you have solar farm, you get electricity for free and you can make good profits just selling it to the grid, no? Or is it really I'm trying to get at is it really profitable and do you have numbers for the like how profitable it would be for let's say like per 100 machines or per whatever you
Yeah,
have we just want to get like a ballpark of the numbers because I
we,
feel
we
like
did some we did some math on that, and if you would do like that, so like for feeding in back solar energy, you don't get a lot of money. So you would need like 7 or 10 times the size of the solar that you would need. So of the power you're actually using just to generate enough energy to buy back the energy. So like
Yeah, well, at the moment, as soon as you go over and produce more energy to the grid, that's the problem. The whole renewable energy market itself is struggling because these solar farms that are already there and they overproduce the renewable energy, and it's disrupting the renewable network. There's a whole network within the electrical system. Too much solar ruins it for people. It causes higher prices. It causes everything. Using the miners, to not let that network disrupt. But that's something that's on a bigger later stage. At the moment, like using these machines at an 11-cent electricity rate, like you can't. I don't know what you mean by sell back. Like sell back, we go create a solar farm and then sell that back to the grid. Is that what you mean? And is that more profitable? Is that what you mean?
yeah
Like
because
do it
for
like that?
example if you could sell for 20 cents per kilowatt and you're only making let's say 10 cents per kilowatt for the miners let's say it'll be more profitable just to sell it. That's kind of what I mean. Let's
Yeah,
say
yeah, I get what you're
just
saying.
based on your numbers, like how much your miners are generating versus how much you could basically the opportunity cost, right? When you first of all, when you have the electricity that you're basically getting from your own farms or from your hydro plant, whatever you have, my question is, it potentially could be more profitable just to sell it to the grid
Um,
versus using it to mine because
using machines.
some countries it's a lot cheaper to mine than others and also they're really cold so you don't have to pay all them as much for AC for example like Greenland or Iceland I don't know but like
Yeah, yeah,
Australia I feel
uh,
like it's a really hot really hot country especially in the summer and also the electricity is really high.
yeah. That's
yeah,
right. With the electricity being high, it's not even for people to sell back in commercial rates. Say we built the solar farm, and just a solar farm, we would only get about 8-cent feed back in maximum because for a normal residential house, as soon as you overfeed like 13 kilowatt, you might get 18, 20 cent for a feeding on a residential house. As soon as you go over a certain rate that you're feeding back into the grid, it gets shut down. So the price nearly halves as soon as you go over certain rates. And that's why that's what I was just talking about with the disrupting the network. If you have too many solar panels from, say you have 100 houses and they're just constantly feeding in the solar system and nobody's using that solar energy, that that completely disrupts the renewable network, and that's what jacks the prices up through the roof because you can't just keep feeding it in. You've got to have it to go somewhere, otherwise it wrecks it. So they do those price drops to stop people, from feeding in from 20 cent, and then as soon as you produce over say 13 kilowatt, they bring it down to like 6-7 cent that they give you. So all the maths has been done with all the wizards on the board. We've got you know calculators, spreadsheets. We've done all the research, the homework for all the energy rates in, out, feed, like our own rates. And yeah, it's definitely more profitable to link-in machines with it than just selling back to the grid. You know, easy by far, like double the price is profitable using machines to sell it.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I trust that you guys did your math and you know, you made the right decision that it's profitable to do the mining. All right, so
That's correct. Yeah.
and concerning marketing, have you guys, is this like one of the first AMAs, or how many AMAs have you guys done? And like, what's your marketing plan, let's say, for the next, you know, like short term and also for the long term?
Yeah, no, it's we've done a few AMAs. You know, the short term, medium term is just to build up members, just to build up a few more members holding the token, so we can then do CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. We're not on those guys yet, just, you know, from the requirements that you need to meet. Yeah, it was just the marketing. Like, yeah, it's great. So we can do the marketing and stuff like that, but it's just like, are we going to turn the machines on? That marketing itself, from each day when we do the buyback and burns and we're ranking up in market cap, that's going to be our marketing. So it's sort of a tough. People want to see so much marketing done, but mainly our marketing is done by the machines. We use the machines to, as if it was new members each day coming to buy the token. That's, you know, each machine is a new member every single day buying the token and burning it. So for the marketing side, yeah, it's good to do these AMAs, and you know, we've done some PooCoin ads as well, and you know, it's just, yeah, we were just cruising with it. It wasn't a big thing to me. This is the part where if we only had 1,000 members, you know, and that was capped at that, this project can just keep going by itself. It's not, we don't have to try and shield and, oh, we need another 10,000 members to keep the project going. Right, let's just stay. If it was the case, we only have 1,000 members, we stay 1,000 members. That's it. That's cool, because the machines will do the rest.
All right, so I'm just taking a look at this. So you have 100 billion supply, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
100 billion supply and 99 billion is burnt.
Mm-hmm.
But this market cap calculation is based on the, not on this supply, but on the 1%, right, of the 1 billion that's left.
We done a replica from the V1 and made it exactly the same as the version 2. It was just a complete switch over. The BNB that's in the LP at the moment in the pool, there's still more to add. That's really have to drain more funds out of the version 1 contract, and because it's renounced, we can't do it. We have to wait. It's just a process. So it's just the same numbers matched from version 1 to version 2.
Okay. And can you go over the taxes? Because it says you guys are, based on what we talked a little bit about earlier, but the 99% burn here, and that means that most of the reflections are going to go to this wallet, right? So that's kind of why it would be deflationary.
All the reflections, that was the problem with the version 1. All the reflections was going to the burn wallet, but that wasn't creating a passive income for everybody. Using the machines to rebuy the token off the market, which is going to increase the price and then give you reflections out of that as well. So in this version 2, the dead wallet's been blacklisted, so people get their full reflections.
Okay, so so what was the reason of doing the 99% burn?
Just to, like, why not? Let's get rid of it, because there was other tokens that was like sitting around, you know, 100 millions of tokens, this and that. Like, what for? Let's get rid of it. So it's not in there. We don't need
No,
it.
I meant like, why start with this number here and then burn 99% when you could have just started off with the 1 billion anyways and not burn anything?
That's it. That's a good point. It was something at the beginning, learning about, you know, doing it myself. The first project. It was I had a different thought at the beginning, you know, a slow build up with the buyback and burns, you know, and then just watching all the zeros sort of disappear, you know, would have been fun. So having, you know, people say, you know, got to lock the tokens and do this with the token. And it was just like, well, it'd be easier just to get rid of it so no one has to stress.
Okay. And these are the taxes, the 4% growth, 2% NFT. So this is going to the NFT holders, right? The ones that you mentioned earlier, the 500 or so
That's
NFTs.
correct. Yeah.
2% LP, 2% reflections. So this 4% growth, okay, I see it's right here. Marketing, expansion, miners, equipment. Okay, I see that. So how are you guys making money? Like, what's your, because you're putting up all this upfront capital for the miners and for the solar farm and all this. How are you going to make money off of this? Like, as the dev, as yourself, and the whole team?
Yeah, no, well, money for myself, it's not an issue. I'm not worried about that at the moment. That's not a thing. Like I said before, it was something, doing this project was something different about the money. It was building up and meeting people as well from around the world and just go out and do different cool stuff. So members on the team, at the beginning, they purchased tokens themselves. It was something that the team has been built along the way, and before the team had been built, there was members who just were investors, and then it's come onto the team who had already been token holders. It wasn't. No one has been given out any tokens. No one, like, for the team, you know what I mean? No one's been allocated, oh, here's 5 million for you, 10 million for you, or anything like that. It's everyone's just had their own stuff. So for the money wise, it's the machines to keep upgrading. The token is going to do itself with the growth. Even if we didn't have any new members buy anything, we still use the machines to buy back and burn the token. All the taxes still operate because the machine's buying the token. So
okay, so this 51%, right, of profit, buyback and burn. Do you have an idea when the next one's going to happen? Has any happened at all yet on this chart? And
no, not from the machines. No.
So do you have
So
like a rough idea, rough timeline of when it's going to start happening?
Oh man, it's I don't want to say a date because I say a date and then
It could be like a ballpark. It doesn't have to be like exact.
I mean within a month, 2 months, there's buyback and burns be happening massively. So yeah.
So when you have your facility completed and you're gonna start mining over there, that's
yeah. So as soon as we get the keys to go in here, do the fit out, we get the miners fit out. That's going to take a few weeks because it's got the cooling. That's done. It's all been sorted with those, from engineering and the team working out the best solution. As I mentioned, there's a couple of things that have to be paid. Like there's a couple of little bills when we turn on the machines. There'll be a little bit of buyback and burns be cranking in. We get those bills out of the way, and then it's full steam ahead.
Okay, all right. So meanwhile, since it's going to be a while before the main utility that you guys have, or the main thing is going to be, reflected in the chart. So what would be like a good catalyst? Do you have anything that's closer, let's say, within the next couple of weeks or a month or so? Like any catalyst that could, let's say, get this trending up, break the all-time high, and keep on going, or like a reversal, because you guys did pretty well. You still definitely above launch price, still about 1.5x or so above launch price. So it's not like you're underwater and all the investors are getting start panicking, right? I think I said that's one of the main things is you want the price to be above at least pre-sale or initial investors, because that's gonna prevent a lot of FUD, right? If people are making
that
money,
price there you're looking at wasn't from pre-sale. That was gone straight over from version 1. It's just members coming back in and topping up some more bags as we switched over, because we paused trading and we made it fair for everybody. All right, trading's going to restart 24 hours after, blah blah blah. So it was just, I think a lot of members are still 10x, 12x from from the original price, because it went from version 1 to version 2. It just went from a 1-to-1 swap. There was no pre-sale. That's not a pre-sale jump. That was just trading resumed.
Okay, so yeah, you guys never had a pre-sale, right? From V1 to V2, we never had an additional fundraising event.
No.
You just went directly, pulled as much liquidity as you could from the tokens that investors sent you.
Resume trading, and then everyone just the way we went again. So.
All right. So what would be like a good, because for the new investors that want to get in, normally we like to look at like, or have an idea of what's going to be happening in the roadmap. Let's say, what would be like a potential catalyst that would get, obviously, of course, CMC listing. Let's see what your daily volume is. Okay, so currently we started off with volume is fairly low, 14K. Yeah, that might be the issue with CMC, is the volume. Liquidity, I say, is pretty good. I think that's enough. The main issue is probably the volume for the CMC. So other than CMC listing, that would be like the catalyst, to get the next, leg up and then break all-time highs. What else do you have that the investors could be looking forward to, and then the short term?
Yeah, no, we've got a few different things happening at the moment. We've joint venture with another mining company that's doing bigger things for us, with the energy side, with Empower. With Helios, we've just jumped on with Helios. He's doing dashboards for us. So, we're going to have a scanner. So when members come onto our website, you can another interface, so you can see the mining income, the hash that's being produced, absolutely everything. Like, you can, if you jump on, I think that there's a link in our pin about Helios's dashboard building. Like, it's amazing. Like, so there's going to be a lot of cool features for members to see their reflections. They're possibly like an APY for the year of what they're holding. So it's some pretty cool work there. It's just there's a lot happening. I don't know. Just if any new members want to come over, just come over and have a chat first before you do any buying in. It's
oh yeah, don't worry about that. We'll get everyone that's in here to join the group. Don't worry. We'll do this after the recording.
Yeah, no, it's so those are the things the main focus is just been getting these machines turned on, because they'll take the load of everything, even down the way the market's sort of been going in general, I suppose. So it's something that will keep us topped up. We're just, or how I see it is how I try to explain it. We're just cutting a vein open from Bitcoin and just pouring it straight into our token. That's it.
Yeah, like that's why I was really curious, to see about the profitability, because that would directly impact, in the future, how much buybacks you could do, right? Because if it's really profitable, like say you could mine a lot of Bitcoin, electricity is cheap, then that means more profits to be put in the token. But if you're barely breaking even, right, then it might not do a lot, for the chart. That's why it's actually very important to get the numbers straight, to get a good idea of what the profits will be.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We have all that. Maybe
we have all that in. It's just I'm not really comfortable with saying these numbers all the time, because, like I was saying, a month ago, even with the market prices, we were at double the rate from other things. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to say. It's all still profitable, easy. We wouldn't do it if it's not profitable.
What you have to keep in mind, what you have to keep in mind is always the price of Bitcoin. And maybe for a good comparison, I calculated it once, and I think for mining a Bitcoin, you pay approx like, I think it was like $19K or something. So that's what a Bitcoin costs you in mining. Totally depends on the actual energy price and stuff like that. And it depends on a lot of factors, but that's always the interesting number. So, but if you mine, you just pay less for mining a Bitcoin than you would buy one on the market. And as long you can do that, you're profitable. And actually Bitcoin is pretty low, which is good for us because we can mine it, we can hold something aside, and our NFT payouts get paid out in BTCB. Means like we're buying cheap Bitcoin and transferring cheap Bitcoin to the holders of the NFTs. So they're just hodling and that's a perfect market condition for hodling. Because a lot of miners turn off the machine because they say, it's not profitable, price of Bitcoin is low. But actually, then hash rate is low, you can mine a lot of Bitcoin, and if the price rises, the buyback and burn gets higher. So there are a lot of factors that need to be counted in, and but if you know what you do and he knows what he does, you can be profitable with mining, definitely.
All right, so this $20,000 per Bitcoin. By the way, I'm hearing myself, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's something around that. I was calculating it 2 weeks ago. Maybe I have to recalculate it, but it was something around that.
So that calculation is based on what price of electricity?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, which price of? Because to calculate 20,000, you have to use some kind of electricity cost, right? Is it about 10 cents, 20 cents?
I think Andy mentioned it later before. It's about 11.5 cents, but in Australian dollar, so it's about 7.7 or 8 cents. No, 9 cents in USD, I think.
All right, cool. Yeah, so if it's, let's say, 10 cents and it costs $20,000, that means if your electricity cost is 20 cents, then it'll cost you $40,000, right? So as long as you could get it somewhere in the 10-cent range, then it's definitely profit to be made.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. All right, cool, awesome, man. So that's all the questions I have. Now we open to the community for questions. So feel free, guys. Fire away.
Sweet. Thanks, man. Much appreciated.
Any questions? Come on.
Someone mentioned that you have.
Have they ever thought about cloud mining?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the chat that you have expensive internet. Maybe you should invest in internet and take over a market this way.
Yeah. If the internet in Australia sucks, why not just get better internet and make profit off of that as a company, instead of mining?
We got that. We got hotels. There's a few things we want to do.
Has the team ever thought about cloud mining?
It hasn't been on the radar at the moment, man. It's just the main focus has been these machines, get more machines, and get more machines. So
I know, but isn't cloud mining a little bit more cheaper? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's more for a longer term thing. You have farms set up, more like you're owning the machines yourself. You're having your own assets, and it's just owning things for ourselves and then just being self-sufficient instead of, what if something happens with their networks? Now you're down. You have to rely on somebody else. These machines are in our farms. Nobody can turn them off but us. We are the key holders. No one's holding them for us or nothing like that. It's our stuff. So, but I hear what you're saying. It could be a good model to use that. There might not be anything wrong with that. But for myself personally and for the project, I want to be the project to have the items, not anybody else.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right, if not, we could wrap it up, and then we'll do the giveaway. We'll end the recording, and then you guys can still hang around and chat. And if there's any more questions in the community, they could ask. So do you want to do a conclusion, like a final statement, and then after that we'll end the recording, and then we'll do the giveaway.
Yeah, no, man, it's much appreciated for everyone tuning in from your guys as well and gals. AusMining crew rocking up again and showing some numbers. So yeah, it's much appreciated. It's good when you do these AMAs and you can have some good chats. So it's much thank you. And just if you have any other questions, come over for sure. But don't go do no aping in until you feel comfortable, and then everyone can help out and away we go. So no, that's really it, man. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming here for the AMA. It was an enjoyable AMA. I'm glad that it was different than a lot of the AMAs. Gabriel, what is your problem? I literally asked for the questions for 5-10 minutes, and then you come in with your question when we're doing a conclusion. Do you want to get banned forever too?
Yeah. Bonus for life, man.
What's your question, Gabriel? Gabriel's about to get.
How long it will take to build an actual, this green plant to produce energy?
There's already factors this is with our joint ventures. It's going to be something that we don't have to focus or really worry about. They're going to be, it's going to be their big end game, their focus, making sure that their farms connected in. These are the relationships that we've been building. So a time frame, we're going to have some stuff up by the end of the year for sure. But how big with the solar side? It's very hard to give out the times, I suppose. It's one thing that I'm starting to learn a lot of about timings and saying things. But yeah, there'll be things hooked up this year. The scale and size, there's been discussions from 38 megawatt, but we can't sit here and say that's going to happen at 38 megawatt farm by the end of the year, and that's a solar farm. So there's a lot of things happening around it. But this year there will be solar stuff tapped in for sure.
Because you don't have to build an entire plant at once, right? You can build it partially. So you don't have to wait for it, right? You could start mining earlier.
Yeah, no, it's these farms are something separate for. It's not going to stop us from being able to turn the switch on straight away. We still have other connections in with the renewable energy sector and things. It's not, we don't have to wait for our solar farm to be built to get the machines turned on. That's not the case at all. We're just waiting for the fit out to be sorted at the current facility and a few other boxes to be ticked there. We start building the fit out of that facility and we're away we go. We turn the machines on.
Any more questions? Yeah, Greg, you couldn't front run us today. I'm sorry, man. I seen Greg was posting about front running anti-records before the AMA started. We could buy it back cheaper actually, because I think the price is actually lower than prior to the AMA. Sorry, Greg, you got front run. All right. Anyways, guys, any more questions, or we could end it, and we'll go on to the giveaway, and then just kind of have a more casual conversation.
I have another question.
All right, go ahead.
Were you looking into different things to produce, different methods to produce electricity, or just solar panels and windmill?
We have been built a team now around who have a lot of knowledge as well. There's not just solar. There's so many other different options, but we just need to secure that area first, and then move on to different things. 100%. There's so many other different things than just solar, for sure. But just having that firm concreted block, I'd say, ground, and then just somewhere to keep bouncing off. If we can go do another energy project, it might not work, but we've still got the machines and these ones turned on to then back us up again. So we can always come back to the machines and be like, in another year's time, we've built up cash. We're going to do we might even invest into a new project that's in renewable energy that's not solar. As AusMining token itself, we want to buy projects as we get more income coming in. I want to go buy heaps of different projects. and people who are trying to do different things. So, and if we can be a part of that, then away we go. Yeah, for sure. It's just having that solid ground first for us to always come back to for that income.
Mm-hmm. And did you actually check how much waste is produced when producing solar panels? Because most of them are produced in China. They don't give a fuck, right? So actually, when you check it, the only green in the name of green energy in solar panels is like grass around it, right?
Okay.
Well, over the long term though, it should fairly be still fairly be
Actually,
greener.
no. Actually, it breaks, faster than it pays for itself.
Really?
That's the fucking truth.
Yeah,
Actually, it's way better to dig into ground, bring out the oil, do stuff with it, in laboratories and burn it, and it's more green than solar panels.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. I would not even argue with you because I heard that too. Especially, let's say it takes X amount of energy to produce the solar panels, and let's say they only last like 5-10 years before they break, and the amount of energy they produce is lower than how much energy it would take to burn fuel. Then yeah, it makes sense.
It's not even about energy. It's about the waste left behind producing the solar panels. It's not about the energy itself,
Yeah, but I'm anti-green, so the more waste, the better. Especially if it's in China, not in my home. I want the sea levels to rise so I could buy cheaper land in Dubai.
But I hear what you're saying, Gabriel. It's a good point. It's it's something to think about. Most definitely, it's really good.
Because it sounds good, green energy, but for someone who is ignorant, and doesn't know anything about it, like it sounds good, right? But when you look into it, it's almost the most wasteful thing to produce energy there is, like along with the windmills. That's fucking joke.
Yep, that's why I always burn a huge pile of coal every day outside my house.
That's good. It's food for plants, because they eat.
Yeah, I gotta put my footprint on the earth too. I'm not gonna let the Chinese get away with it. I want to put my own footprint too.
Dude, it's not footprint. It sounds like a joke, but it's not actually footprint. They like refrain it so you will think it's bad. But when you actually look into any greenhouses, they tell us, we have too much CO2 in atmosphere, right? But when you look how they produce plants and they grow plants in the greenhouses, the best greenhouses actually bring more CO2 level because we have not enough CO2 in atmosphere for plants to grow properly. Okay, just look it up.
I know, Gabriel. I know you're a tree hugger and you love the green.
Yeah, we need to produce more CO2.
Yeah.
Actually, that's good for the trees because they eat it, right? That's their food.
Gabriel, you're about to start paying for this AMA yourself. Because you're the one who had the idea. Every time they go over, it's like $20 every X minutes. So now, because we're spending extra time talking to you, now you have to pay for it.
But you are learning it, right?
Oh, sweet.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah. Okay, guys. So, anyways, let's go wrap it up. Thanks for coming. Honestly, like I wanted to say, this was a breath of fresh air. Green joke. Because we've been getting so many AMAs with like play to earn games, and most of them are shit. Like I try to be nice, but like these guys have no ideas how to create games, and it's just with all the meme tokens and all these play to earn games that are never going to go anywhere. And now this is actually a project that's a lot more real, and you guys have a an actual company registration. So it's definitely different than most of these projects coming out lately in this space. So I'm glad that you guys are doing something different, and I'm still not 100% sold on all the numbers and if it's really going to be profitable unless I see that for myself. But I think as long as you say it is, then if you guys think it is, then I guess it is. It's just that I would probably pick a different country, not Australia, to do this in. Just mainly because of the costs in Australia are definitely higher than most other countries, And that's why mining is not even really profitable. Even in the U.S., mining is not really that profitable a lot of places because, the high labor costs, the high electricity costs. And that is why a lot of the miners were doing it in China, before it was banned, is because China was a lot cheaper. Cheaper electricity.
There's some cool things going. Even with the government at the moment, because they got that the zero emission scheme, so they got government grants as the solar farms get going up. They roughly paying around 50% of government rebates back to what you build, just for the renewable energy. So that's going to cut costs again as it keeps growing and stuff. And they got that going for a while. So it's going to help out a lot.
Yeah, and you guys could probably get some kind of rebates or something. Well, I don't know if you get it because you're actually spending that solar on mining, but normally, with if you have some kind of there's government incentives for solar, right? So this may be something you guys can get out of that too.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for coming. I'm going to end the recording right now. I'll have it uploaded on YouTube in a couple hours. And we'll do a giveaway.
Another question.
This guy, definitely, he's going to be banned forever for sure now. I'm just going to take a shower, man. It's freaking 95. It's 95 degrees in the room right now. And this guy's keeping asking questions.
Oh, man.
I think we should send Gabriel. I'm gonna buy him a ticket to go to Australia so he can ask you all the questions he wants.
Happy days. Yeah, come over.
Anyways, Gabriel, let's just end this and then you can ask your question after. How about
No, I'm joking.
that? Alright, well, see you guys. Yeah, it was fun AMA, guys. Hopefully we'll go trending as a comedy show on YouTube.
Better than LOL, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Good luck on the project.
Thanks, mate. Let it burn, baby!
Burn it!